Hello everyone, welcome to the 16th episode of TLB Author Interview Series, and I'm your host Monica. Today we have a very incredible and talented author with us, author Aditi Goyal, and she has her debut novel Love Finds a Way, which takes readers on an emotional journey of challenges and triumphs, navigating through an Indian arranged marriages. So, Aditi ma'am, thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, so before we start with our questions, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners and a bit overview of your book?
Sure.
Yes.
So, hey everyone, I am Aditi Goel. Like Monica said, that I am. This is my debut novel, which is called Love Finds a Way. So, before writing this book, I was actually by education. I've been an engineer and an MBA. I've done 10 years of corporate through different companies. And post that, then I quit my job to follow my passion, which is to write the book. And book is inspired from my personal journey, wherein I went through the arranged marriage process for about 8 years. And then what I saw was that one, there is no relatable content as to when I'm going through something, if my friends are not going through the same thing, because there might be people who just find their partners, during college or other things, and they don't go through the arranged marriage process. In that case, I don't have anyone to talk to and tell me that, you know what, this happens, this is normal. And hence I really wanted to write this to make sure that people who go through this process understand that there are bumps in the road that they will encounter, and that was behind writing. uh, book tells the story of a woman called Amaya. She's in her 20s when the book starts. She has a boyfriend, she has a great job, she lives with her best friends as roommates. And then, like, when the talks of marriage start, her boyfriend bails. Uh, uh, doesn't want to commit. And then she goes through the arranged marriage process. So all the societal biases come in. Oh, you are too educated. Oh, you're not so fair. You're not that thin. All those things come in. And how does she encounter that? How does that impact her as a person? And then she goes through a growth journey as to accepting herself and, being who she is and still sticking to what she really wants in a partner, because it's very easy to give up in this process. It's a very long drawn process. So that's the journey the book is about.
Great. So arranged marriages, it's like a typical trope people opt for, and readers read it on a very large number. So what exactly inspired you to go for this trope, even though it is typical, and you decided to write on it and you made a book? So was it Amaya's journey the reflection of your own experiences?
It was the reflection of my own experiences, and it was also because there is no content around this. Like, I used to yearn to talk to someone about this and tell me that, yeah, this is okay. And there was no content, or like, for me, there were no people around me who were going through the same process. Whenever I would bump into someone who was going through the process, they'll keep telling me, hey, you know what, nobody told me this before. If I knew this, it would have been easier for me. And that inspired me actually to write this book.
So it was completely your own experience, right? Yeah. We are glad you made it simple for us, because I think this generation is like half arranged marriages and half of love marriages. So we definitely need a guide.
Let me tell you, not just restricted to arranged marriages. It's not like she's a traditional girl who will just look at arranged marriage and not stop looking for her partner outside of that setup. So that's also not there, because again, Amaya is a modern girl who wants to find a life partner. This way or that way doesn't matter to her in a way. So it's not just arranged marriage process, it is also her own journey to figure out a life partner even outside that setup. So I feel both the troops will actually like the book. because it's about knowing yourself and knowing what you want in life partner.
Exactly. So, as I said, that arranged marriage, which is, taking many turns in this generation. So, do you believe that in evolving India or modern India, arranged marriage has evolved? And did you aim for putting that twist and turns in Amaya story?
So I would say while it is evolving from the times of, let's say, our parents' generation, where just the parents will decide who gets married to whom,
Yeah.
to now, wherein even now there are 2-3 different formats of arranged marriage that is being followed according to my understanding. One is that people meet once, talk once, and that's it. That's all they have to decide on who to get married. But then there are people who allow a couple of meetings at least. But more than that, more than 4 meetings or so, it's generally frowned upon that, oh, you're taking so much time, probably you have to picking. There are very few people who actually say, okay, fine, you talk for 6 months and then you decide. That's very rare, at least even in today's scenario. Having said that, it's also evolving a lot on the pretense level, I would say. There are people who claim to be modern who will say that, hey, you know what, we don't want this or we don't care about this anymore. But eventually, at the end of the day, when it comes to traditional stereotypes or traditional biases, they do hold on to it. So one of them is that the girl has to be super pretty, no matter how their son looks like. And again, the guy has to earn more than the girl, no matter if they are equally educated, which is, I think, harsh on the men. That have to earn so much more. And that's sometimes from the girl's side. That if you're not earning more than my daughter, then I am not willing to give you my daughter in a way. So that's also wrong. So both sides, there is a lot of, I would say, surface level modernization to it. But at the end of it, at the core of it, sometimes all these biases still remain.
Yeah. It's the stereotypes which, it never stops. It's continue, like it, with every generation it's there. So while you were writing the book, did you have a particular audience in mind, or did you aim for universal appeal?
So I aimed for a universal appeal, and like I said, since this is a very personal journey, I think anyone in their 20s to even their 50s would enjoy this book. And having said that, even though the book is from a woman's perspective, I've tried not to alienate men from the conversation. And hence, this book is not about male bashing. That's not the agenda of the book. It's about the realities of a woman that she faces, and not trying to just, demean that, okay, for men the journey is not so tough. That's not the game.
Yeah.
That's not the story of the book. So I was not going for a particular set of audiences. Although having said that, I'll say that this book is a little bit for empowered women, for people who are more independent, people who at least want to be independent. So that's the theme of the book. That, self-growth, self-love, all those things do come in.
It's both for women, men of every age. Yeah, that's great. It's for universal. You have aimed for universal appeal, and readers at every age can read it. That's great. So, as the book has ending as of now, so were there any alternative ending in your mind, or you were always clear with the conclusion?
So since it's a very personal story, I was very clear with the conclusion. I never really had an alternate ending in mind.
It was always fixed.
Always fixed.
Great. So, writing a book is never easy. It's not an easy step to take. So, how was your writing journey? Did you enjoy, what part of writing journey did you enjoy the most? Like developing the characters, or weaving the plot, or the world building? What was the most enjoyable part of the journey?
So like you said, writing is never easy. I thoroughly, since this is my first book, I thoroughly enjoyed writing the entire book. I think weaving the plot, and so there's not a lot of world building in this because this is not a fantasy novel. This the world that I've built is actually very relatable, that the world we live in. So, but having said that, building the characters were very interesting for me, and in fact, it was very reflective for me as well. Because when we are living our own lives, we see the
Yeah.
story from our perspective. We don't see the story from other people's perspective. While I was writing, I had to see from my characters' perspectives also, who were not the protagonist. And that was pretty interesting for me as well, because I could see from other people's, and it actually helped me grow as a person. Apart from writing the book, that helped me grow the character building piece.
Okay. So that was your favorite part. Yeah. Okay. So, on arranged marriage trope, there are many books, like many books. Even by Indian authors, there are many books. So, were there any books or author which inspired you while you were writing the book?
So not particularly on this topic, I would say.
Yeah.
But I've been an avid reader, and I've been a fan of Cecilia Ahern's book, how she twines her stories, how emotions are just, portrayed in her books. And I really love her books in terms of the descriptions, the kind of character building she does. So that has been my inspiration. I also love Mitch Albom's books, although I don't think I'm at that level. He is just an amazing author who likes to, merge the ordinary with the supernatural or the spiritual kind of things. And I really love his books, but I don't think I'm at that level right now to write those kind of stories yet. But I would love to reach there.
Yeah, you will definitely reach there because I have read a few chapters of the book and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I really loved Amaya's character, how she shows the typical Indian girl type of features, like the family pressure of getting married when you entered your 20s and the work pressure and everything. So it was really relatable and I really liked that part.
Thank you.
So, every book has behind the scene facts or events that occurred while writing the book, and it's always hidden from the audience or readers. So, were there any fun or quirky facts about the book that most of your audience don't know yet?
So there are a lot of so I worked with the developmental editor for about a year, and there are a lot of things that actually were basically edited out from the book.
Yeah.
There was so during the book there were 2 chapters where I go to an MBA and I go through the B school journey, and that was described. But due to the word limit, it had to be cut out, and there are a few characters that I had to just edit out because of the word limit per se. So those were a few stories that will be hidden from the readers for now, I think, but I have made sure that I don't do injustice to the overall story of the book.
Yeah. So there are some hidden stories, right? So can you give us a bit hint about what it is and we can get a sneak a peek?
So there are a lot of basically characters in the book who come in because like for arranged marriages, right? We meet prospect and there are things that go on. So having said that, during the editing process, I did take out a few prospects from that. So
yeah,
like okay, yeah, maybe this one is not important. So because I think there was one aspect wherein I was actually I fell in love. The character actually fell in love with someone, and they were just not ready for a relationship, and that's something that I actually took out of the book because I thought it didn't impact the overall story as much. So it was a very brief interaction, but that happened. And then there was another one wherein the character actually was interested in someone with whom their timelines did not match. So both of them were free at very different times. They really could not end up spending a lot of time together, and hence things never worked out. So all these small things, they were taken out.
Okay. Editing is difficult, like taking out the characters who are like important part of the book, but still they have to be edited out. It's kind of difficult for you as a writer, I guess. So it's a fun question now. So every book nowadays is having their own playlist. So if your book Love Finds a Way has its own playlist, and which would be the 3 top songs that you would like to add to the list?
Okay. So I'm a little old school. I might tell you songs that you might not have heard of. So I think the book would start with the song called Thoda Sa Pyar Hua Hai, Thoda Hai Baki.
I have heard it.
In the middle, it will go into, I think, जाने क्या ढूंढता है ये मेरा दिल, तुझको क्या चाहिए जिंदगी.
Yeah.
Third would be Nazam Nazam from Bareli Ki Barfi.
Great. What a choice. I love these songs. Yeah. So they will definitely suit with the book, I guess, because the part which I have read, the starting one, it goes with it. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad you like it.
It's my pleasure. I'm getting chance to read this book and discover these challenges and that maybe we'll be facing in our future life. So, yeah. So, are you planning to write any sequel or exploring similar themes in future?
So, I'm planning to write a sequel for this book, which talks about that you find a life partner, what happens next, because that's also a very important part of a story, and in that I would like to focus on what an equal marriage looks like for both the man and the woman.
Yeah. Great. I'll be waiting for it. As soon as I finish this book, I'll be waiting for the next. So, are you writing the next story, or you're looking for genres other than the sequel, which you are currently working on?
So I am exploring a few things, but not really settled on something. What I really want to do is, now that I've written a book from a woman's perspective, I do want to explore writing a book from a man's perspective. What are the challenges that they go through? What are the things that run in their minds? And I know that will involve a lot of research and probably, eating heads of my friends, my husband, a lot of people. But I think I would really like that challenge.
Good, because I think not many books are written from the men's perspective. It's always the woman facing the challenges and in her marriage. So reading it from a man's perspective will be very new, and maybe we'll discover some new things.
For sure.
So yeah, as the book is already there out in the world, so have you received any memorable response from your readers, or a response that kind of stuck in your mind?
So everyone who's reviewed the book has actually told me that the book was super relatable for them, and that's the uniform theme I've received across all reviews. I've also received a review that basically the book took them on an emotional journey, especially for people outside India. It actually brought them closer to home. Those are the reviews that stuck to me a little, that it's so relatable that people are actually transported back to their hometowns, or how their parents talk, how their siblings are, all those things, and that's what has stuck with me.
That's good to know. So before we wrap up, let's have a fun quick rapid fire round, and so you just have to answer whatever comes to your mind first. So tea or coffee?
Both. I can't pick either.
So you're both tea and coffee person.
Yes, I would love tea at like 2 a.m. in the night, and I would love coffee black coffee in the morning, anytime.
I'm more of a chai person. I love my tea. So, your favorite writing spot?
My desk and my bed. I am someone who writes uh, in weird positions. Like I'll lie on the bed and write, and then I'll do this and write. All these things.
It's your comfort position. Okay. Book you have reread multiple times.
Oh, P.S. I love you. By Cecilia Khan.
What is it about?
So it's about a woman whose husband dies because of a chronic illness, cancer,
Yeah.
and then now she is grieving. How her friends and family come in to support her. What is the emotional journey she goes through as a person, and eventually at the end, and then basically what she discovers is her husband, knowing that he will die, he's written her letters for every month as to giving her tasks, and he is helping her now grieve as well as overcome her grief. So that's about like her healing from that loss. It's very emotional. It's very. I think there's a movie also on it, but I really love the book more than that because it encapsulates a lot more emotions.
Even I love emotional books, and I reread emotional books on like frequently. I keep on reading them. It's always the emotional book for me over a romantic book. One word to describe love finds a way.
Growth.
Growth in a relationship. In
Growth of yourself, growth in a relationship, more from your self perspective, that you like you as a person get to know who you are, what you want, what you don't want, that kind of reflection, and then growing from that into a person who's able to find a life partner.
cool. So, dream travel destination.
Oh, there are so many. I pick one, Spain probably.
Spain, yeah. Any special incident or memory you have of Spain you want to go there?
I've not been to Spain. I've heard
Yeah.
that it's a very calm place, it's a very beautiful place, and the people are very friendly. And I'm sure I would love the food, even though I'm a vegetarian. So, hence, looking forward to that kind of setup.
Hope your dreams soon come true. Your favorite comfort food?
Oh my! It's always khichdi, dal khichdi. That's my go-to wherever I'm feeling super. I don't know. I'm not so comfortable. I'm not so in a good health shape. I love khichdi with a little bit of achar.
It's very underrated. I think khichdi is very underrated. Even it's a comfort food for me when I'm usually sick. I go for khichdi. That's great. A song that always lifts up your mood.
There's a song called "Pick Up the Phone." You're not alone. Pick up the phone.
Yeah, I know it. It's a really good song. It's a really good song. I really love it. Your go-to inspiration when you feel stuck while writing.
You're asking in terms of people or books?
Whatever you feel like. Let's go for people.
So people, I have a best friend with whom I discuss, and my husband. Two people whose heads I eat, just to talk things through. That this is where I'm stuck. I don't know what I want to write about. Then they'll give a few suggestions, and I might or might not take it, but just that conversation helps me get unstuck.
Okay. So your husband.
My husband and my best friend. Her name is Chika.
Okay. Ebooks or paperbacks?
So So I love paperbacks for sure. But while I'm traveling, I have now actually basically transferred into ebooks because it's easier to carry. It's just one Kindle that I have to carry.
Exactly.
But
I think, yeah, many people nowadays carry their books with them, but I'm like, I'll go for Kindle or ebooks because it's much easier to carry with, and I don't know, I'm more attracted to ebooks than paperbacks.
so I tried carrying paperbacks while traveling. One more thing is that the something or the other will happen. Either the cover will bend or the paper will
Yeah.
tear. Or I don't want to damage my books.
Yeah, exactly. For same reason, I don't carry my ebooks, paperbacks everywhere.
Yeah.
What piece of advice for aspiring writers?
I would say one, plan your book well, like outline it before you start writing. And that's where I got stuck. So I outlined the book in the beginning, but I did not outline the chapters. And it seems like a very daunting task to outline all the chapters at once. Okay. Did I lose you?
No. Yeah, I'm here.
It seemed very daunting to outline all the chapters at once, but maybe as you go, but start outlining the chapters, because otherwise what happens is you're thinking of what to write and how to write at the same time, and it's just counterproductive. So once you have what to write, then how to write is something that you can figure out in the chapter. So that's my advice. I've gotten stuck many times with this part. When I'm doing both, I can't do like either.
That's a really important piece of advice. Outlining your chapters and outlining your book before getting to start writing it.
Yeah.
So, Aditi ma'am, that was it for today, and thank you so much for joining us. It was really wonderful to have a conversation with you about you, your work, and the insights. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much. I had a wonderful time and a wonderful conversation.
Yeah, thank you. So for all the readers, thank you so much for staying tuned. And if you haven't got a chance to get your hands on the book, Love Finds a Way, go grab it. It's there on Amazon. And till then, we'll see you next time. Keep reading, keep exploring, and keep supporting authors like Aditi ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you next time.
See you.